He is a product of Marvel Comics, commonly associated with Spider-Man and a sentient alien symbiote who requires a host, usually human, to bond with for its survival.
I found something really bad.
Welcome to Super Vaganza, and in this episode, we'll be telling you 99 super flash facts about the famous Venom in 10 minutes or less. Ready? Before we start, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell like hell. Are you ready? Awesome, let's start our list. Venom first appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 252 in May of 1984 as the alien costume. But, recognized as Venom, he would only appear 4 years later in April 1988 in the issue number 299. Venom was created by David Michelinie and Todd McFarlane. Venom was exiled from his planet into a space prison. Venom's first host on Earth was Deadpool. He would later host himself in Spider-Man. After leaving him, he was capable of retaining all powers from Spider-Man himself. So, this made Venom undetectable by Spider-Man's spider sense, so he could appear unnoticed. After being expelled by Spidey, he then merged with Eddie Brock, the same Eddie Brock we see in the movie. Squirrels were one of his favorite snacks. He's been a Guardian of the Galaxy. He still is a Guardian of the Galaxy, well, at least in a variation of the character. He is hosted in Flash Thompson's body doing missions for the government and resisting to the evil will of the symbiote. Flash Thompson was later named Agent Venom. He traveled to the cosmos saving anyone who needed help. He once had a Venommobile. Venom has an appetite for brains. However, by simply eating chocolate, Venom can stop his insatiable hunger. This happens because chocolate has phenethylamine, a chemical produced in the brain that feeds the suit. Venom is also weak to fire and sound. It was once defeated by a lighter. Funny, huh? He is also a shapeshifter, changing and adapting to its environment and host. A second symbiote was cloned from his tongue. He's been an Avenger. He's been an Avenger, yes, twice. Eddie's mother died during childbirth. Venom is a defender of the homeless. His costume was originally made for Iron Fist. Venom was originally a concept created by a fan called Randy Schuler, sold by $220. With the opportunity, he would write the script. This ended up not happening. The Venom symbiote is of an alien species called the Clintar. The planet where it came from is also called Clintar, situated on the Andromeda Galaxy. This symbiote is the 998th generation of this species. Each passing generation produces offspring more powerful than their own. The Venom symbiote can reproduce asexually. The Carnage symbiote is the 999th generation in its bloodline. That's why it's more powerful than Venom. The first Venom is currently a superhero named Toxin. All symbiote-centric villains in the Spider-Man universe, Carnage, Agony, Phage, Riot, Lasher, Scream, and more have all spawned from the original Venom symbiote that appeared on Battleworld almost 30 years ago. There will be no lying through its teeth because Venom is incapable of lying. The symbiote bears a degree of telepathic powers, able to communicate via mental wavelengths. Venom's voice and speech patterns were created by Hank Azaria in the 1994 animated series SpiderMan, the animated series. Eddie Brock was known to have cancer, and the only thing keeping him alive was the same symbiote itself. Martin Lee, also known as Mr. Negative, unwillingly cured Eddie Brock from cancer after touching him and generating a biological shock. He became the anti-Venom as a result. A white beast who wanted to cure all symbiotes and superhumans, including Spider-Man, of their infections. Anti-Venom bears the original Venom's powers and even resists fire, sound, and a degree of healing abilities. Venom was supposed to be the villain of the third installment of The Amazing Spider-Man, but the second movie underperformed, and Marvel even got a deal to have Spider-Man included in the MCU. Spider-Man has lots of foes, with personal vendettas, but Venom is the only one that can draw power from his anger in order to fight the Webhead, and having a chance to defeat him. Originally, Vulture was supposed to be Spider-Man 3's villain, but according to the director, Sam Raimi, the producer forced him to replace it with Venom. The movie version of Venom was inspired by jungle cats like tigers, panthers, and cheetahs, and drug addicts like Eddie Brock is often portrayed. Venom was originally going to be a woman, but the creators thought it wouldn't be credible. So, only years after the creation of the symbiote comics, they introduced a female version with Anne Wang, Eddie's girlfriend. Venom was originally only a costume, but John Byrne, a comics artist, suggested it to have a life of its own. The symbiote is known for its evil behavior, but in reality, it only enhances the darkest desires of its host. Venom's evil urges may originate from its time spent within Deadpool, its first host on Earth. Scorpion was once the host of Venom, turning him into a much more powerful villain, feared by the other villains. Scorpion, also known as Gargan, worked with Norman Osborn to become the Dark Avenger. He ended up developing cannibalistic desires as he couldn't control the suit as he wanted. He even attempted to kill Eddie Brock as the suit preferred the journalist. Venom had lived in various Marvel universes, getting innumerous hosts over the years. Eddie Brock once tried to sell the symbiote to Angelo Fortunato to raise money for charity. The buyer foolishly merged with the suit, but since he was too weak and with suicidal tendencies, Venom left him midair, leading him to his death. Oh, the consequences of greed. Eddie tried to kill himself after knowing of Fortunato's death. He even went to church to pray for God's forgiveness. What if the symbiote merged with a T-Rex? Yeah, it happened, and it was called Venomosaurus Rex. The Venom from Earth 1610 was called Ultimate Venom. In this Earth, the suit was used to try to cure diseases and cancer, but ended up failing. The symbiote had already bonded with a lot of very known superheroes in alternative worlds like Thor, Hulk, Wolverine, Captain America, and the newest character introduced into the MCU, Carol Danvers, or Captain Marvel, and many others. Carol Danvers, when trying to separate the suit from Scorpion, was forced to bond with the symbiote. She later escaped by overpowering the suit. Venom has already devoured lots of Asgardians. Besides Venom, Carnage, and Anti-Venom, there are a bunch more of symbiote types like Scream, Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Agony, some of them seen in the movie starring Tom Hardy. These symbiotes were originally beings searching for a way to protect the universe from the threats that perturbed it, founding the agents of the cosmos. Venom was outcast from his planet Clintar to be considered kind of a weak specimen. Can't imagine the stronger ones. I am Venom! While the Guardians of the Galaxy are trying to take Venom back to his planet, it merges with Groot. Johnny Storm, or Human Torch, was curious to try the suit to experience its powers, but since the symbiote and the fire don't play along, it didn't last long. Venom can breathe underwater. In Carnage Unleashed, released in the 90s, Venom traveled to the internet and got to fight Carnage inside the digital realm. When bonded to a host, they can't get sick. Now that's helpful.
I'm feeling really sick.
Venom can turn itself into any type of fabric. After all, it is called a suit. Even better, it can become invisible. Depending on the host, it can also turn its limbs into weapons, including axes and guns. Although it can't survive much time without a living host, it can assume a humanoid form for several hours. Although Spider-Man possesses webbing via technologic development, Venom has it naturally and doesn't run out. Venom is immune to Ghost Rider's pen and stare because the symbiote doesn't have eyes. The suit preserves the memories of past hosts, making the future hosts know about them. Eddie formed the iconic mouth to differentiate himself from Spider-Man. Its fangs carry lethal poison. When Venom bonds with someone who doesn't hate Spider-Man, its power is significantly weaker. Telepathy won't be successful on the suit, for the simple reason it doesn't possess a brain. It can survive in the vacuum of space. It can also take any form or any size. Spider-Man had to fake his own death in order to keep Venom away. To do so, Spidey had to put a skeleton inside his suit after Venom threw a car at him in one of the fights. The movie version released this year was directed by Ruben Fleischer. Tom Hardy said in an interview that his favorite scenes didn't make it into the final cut, while Todd McFarlane would have taken the film in a much different direction. After Black Panther, Ludwig Göransson returned to the comic books by leading the score of this movie. A couple months ago, Eminem dropped a surprise album, and the song Venom included in it was specifically produced for the movie. Since the movie wouldn't feature the main motivation, the hatred for Spidey, the creators had to make his worldview the same as Eddie's in order for them to have something in common. They also removed the spider logo from the suit since it didn't make sense anymore. Hey, do you know any other facts about Venom besides the ones on this list? If so, tell us in the comments section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to get new content. See you guys later.